think with the doctor. Yes, he's got it. Here he comes. Way rock the baby to sleep.
Until morning. Ewing.
Oh, wow.
Oh. He's going to try to get one more shot off the last one. The buzzer.
How about that?
Rivers steps over Toronto. He thought about three. He'll put up a three.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Boom Broadcasting presents 3 from D. I'm your host, Jason Calenzo. Welcome to the show. How's everybody doing today? Happy Wednesday, hump day. You know, you gotta love it. Getting closer to the weekend, and we're closer to game 3. What's going on this evening, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But first things first, of course, I always got to do the shameless plug. So this is 3 from D. I am Jason Calenzo. Thank you guys very much for joining me. We're on the Boom Broadcasting Network here on the YouTube channel. So if you have not done so yet, please like and subscribe. You know, jump on here. We got a lot of great content, not just myself doing NBA content here. We have wrestling, we have TV shows, we got content for everybody. So please jump on here. Join. You will not be disappointed. I'm telling you guys. I am telling you. So, but thank you very much for joining me today, man. You know, NBA season here. We've got the final 2. It's the final countdown. So we got these last 2, and here we are tonight, game 3. We have now shifted over to Indianapolis for the next couple of games, and so far this has been an interesting finals. So we got to buckle up because this is going to be an interesting ride the rest of the way. So let's break it down a little bit. Okay, so game 1, Indianapolis, Tyrese Haliburton, the comeback, the last second shot stuns the Oklahoma City Thunder in game 1 to take a 1-0 lead. And then the Oklahoma City Thunder come back and show their dominance in game 2. Which teams are going to show up on game 3? So first, let's get with Indianapolis. They got some home cooking going on. They have not had a finals game in Indianapolis in 25 years. I think it's been 25 years. So needless to say, that stadium is going to be rocking tonight. Indianapolis, you know, is going to be on fire. Those Pacers hopefully come out with some excitement because they were lacking a little bit there in the game 2. I was hoping that game 1 victory would have sparked them a little bit more, but game 2, very subdued, especially their superstar. We'll talk about him in a minute here. But Indy and those Pacers, they play better, and they do better when they're playing their pace of play, which is that fast up and down the court. Good shots, good 3-point percentage. They did not have that the last game. They were definitely beat in all facets of the game in game 2 by Oklahoma City Thunder's defense. Oklahoma City Thunder stopped their runs, and that's one of the things that has been so impressive about this Pacers squad is not just their pace of play and how organized it looks when they're running up and down the court, but their ability to score in bunches and just to score tons of points in a quick amount of time. So it is, you know, being a Knicks fan, it hurt to watch them kind of dismantle us in some games. So, you know, Oklahoma City in that first game, I think they were caught by surprise on how fast the Pacers do play. And I think that's one of the things that caught Oklahoma City off guard. But can the Pacers get back to that brand of basketball? They just, again, were not aggressive. They were not playing their style of basketball in game 2, they just did not look good. So can they bring that back? Can they bring the Indianapolis 500 back to these finals? And we're going to see. This is going to be very important. This is key for them. This third game for the Pacers is going to be pivotal on how they play and how they respond. They need to win at home. And I think they really, really need to win this game. I think this is a must win for the Indiana Pacers tonight. Because, if Oklahoma City catches fire, they win game 3. And especially if they win like they did in game 2, I think that's going to spell trouble for the Pacers. Because, of course, Indy came in this as the underdogs. Oklahoma City, the overwhelming favorites. So for the Pacers, for their confidence to extend this series past 5 games, they really need to win tonight, and they need to play their brand of basketball tonight. They need to get up and down the court. They need their 3-point shooting to be over 40+%. They need their superstar and superstars to score more than 20, 25 points. They cannot be under that. They have to be over 110, 120 points. They need that Indy style of game in tonight's game, is they really need to just pile on some points. They really need to score those points in bunches. They need to get Oklahoma City thinking about game 1 again. So this is a pivotal game for them. It's going to be tough. I think they can do it. They showed that they can do it. They can't play from behind like they did in game 1. I think they need to really set the tempo in this game. If they come out and they come out fast and they come out hot and they come out shooting a good percentage, they can win this game. It's important. I think if they lose this game, they lose the series in 5. But if the Pacers come out, play their style of basketball, get up and down the court, can hit their shots over 40%, fight through Oklahoma City's defense, get the bench involved. Your TJ McConnell, your Benedict Mathurin. If you get those guys involved, Obi Toppin, they come in, they get you some points, they kind of just keep it rolling. Oklahoma City is going to be in trouble because a lot of people were not giving the Pacers any chance, and that game 1 proved that the Pacers can hang with Oklahoma City. So very important. And what's going to be more important is Tyrese Haliburton. I guess it is going viral a little bit. After the game, during his press conference, he kind of limped away from from his press conference there. So kind of dealing with a lower leg injury. He says it's not a problem. He's going to be ready for game 3, playing it off a little bit. Excuse me. Tyrese Haliburton is very important to that team. Again, people making him out to be the superstar. I still don't feel that way. I still feel there's not really one guy on that team. To me, I still think Pascal Siakam is the most important player on that team. I really feel the offense needs to go kind of through him. He's a little more of a versatile player, whereas Tyrese Haliburton just gets these spurts. Game 2, Tyrese Haliburton was essentially invisible. It was a quiet 17 points that he had. So this needs to be a bounce back game for Tyrese Haliburton. He needs to drop 25, 30. He needs to come out there, be aggressive, and be dominant for the Pacers to have a chance. And not just that, for his confidence moving forward in wanting to be the man. You can't just have people call you the man. You can't self-proclaim yourself as the man and not go out there and produce. This is the NBA Finals, man. This is it. It's win or you have a long off season of what ifs. And these players know that it's hard to get back to the finals. It's hard to get and make your way through the playoffs, long NBA season. You're not guaranteed to be there again. So you got to give everything every game. And Tyrese Haliburton needs to come out in game 3 and be uber aggressive, and just he's got to be in control and drop some points in this game. I think he's got to, for the Pacers to win, he has to score 20 plus. I think he needs to be over 25. Same thing with Pascal Siakam. I still think the offense runs better when it goes through him. He has the tools. He has a little more of an inside game. He's a little bit better passer. I think he gets more involved in the offense. He's a scorer too. He can kind of create his own shot. He has the experience of being in the finals. He already has a championship with Toronto. So I really believe that Pascal Siakam is also going to be very important to this game. He needs to drop 25, 30. They need to score and score often against Oklahoma City, because they got a bunch of scores on that squad. And we'll talk about their MVP here in a minute. But if Tyrese Haliburton wants to live up to the hype that is kind of surrounding him now and that he's inviting in these playoffs, he needs to come out in game 3 and show something. He cannot have a quiet 15 points. If he does that again, the Pacers are done. They have a lot of great players on that team right now that are stepping up, but they need their superstars. They need Siakam is very important right now, and Tyrese Haliburton. Everybody else is going to kind of get theirs. Everybody else kind of gets involved in the game, in the speed of the game, and in their own way are going to be very important. But they need to shoot over 40%. They need to shoot over 40% from 3, and they need their 2 stars to score over 25 points. That's the only chance they have to win and for the confidence moving forward in this series. To Oklahoma City, let's jump in there. The Western Conference champions look good in game 2, bounce back from game 1, because of course game 1 they did that sleep on Indiana, which the Knicks did too. I talked about watching tape, and these teams sometimes you sit back and you watch these games and you go, guys, have you not watched what they did the last series and how they were down and they've come back and how they fight and claw and they score points in bunches? Do you not watch this at all? You can't let them shoot a high percentage. You can't let their bench players come in and dictate what happens in the game. So Oklahoma City squashed that in game 2. They did a much better job on defense. Chet Holmgren, welcome to the NBA Finals. You showed up in game 2. Thank you very much. Williams, same thing, showed up in game 2. Dort, they need the complement of players. But to me, of course, it all comes down to SGA. SGA right now is trying to do something beyond the game itself, which is, hey, he won a regular season MVP. Now he's poised to become the finals MVP in his 30-point scoring streak right now. So don't tell me that these guys don't watch and know and listen to some of the talk show stuff that goes on in ESPN, etc. And these guys watch that and they know what's going on. SGA knows what's going on. If he's wants to be the next guy, this is going to be one of those games. You're going into a hostile environment. You're going to go into the other guy's building. You have a 30-point scoring streak going on. What are you going to do? And that team, as good as they are, really needs SGA to be the man, the facilitator of the ball. The offense runs through him. He needs to be aggressive coming out the gate. Their defense needs to be on point tonight against the Pacers. Slow them down, get them off of their game, get them shooting under 40%, quiet Haliburton, quiet Siakam, and you'll win this game. And they have a chance. I think they can come in here and shock the Pacers at them because they have the team to do that. They have the formula to win. They did that in game 2. They didn't do it in game 1. They let them come back. Weren't paying attention. Can't sleep on the Pacers. They're here for a reason. But Oklahoma City has a chance to win tonight. The Pacers pull out the upset tonight. I think home cooking with the Pacers. I think Haliburton has the naysayers getting to him. I think he has something to prove tonight. I think he goes off for 25 plus points. I think Siakam has himself a good game too. I think Indiana's defense is going to be very important. It's one of those things, again, let SGA get his 30. If you shut the rest of the team down, if you hold Chet under 10 points, if you hold Williams under 10 points, if you hold Dort, in their bench, and you hold them down, you can win this game. And I see Indiana winning game 3 and making this a series. What do you guys think? Let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your comments. Am I crazy? Do I not know what I'm talking about? Don't be afraid to tell me. You're not going to hurt my feelings. But I just want to hear what you guys have to think because, again, this finals is an exciting finals. Unfortunately, it's not being watched by a lot of people with the ratings coming out, which I kind of take that with a grain of salt because the ratings nowadays, especially when it comes to sports, you can't really go by the official stuff because with all the streaming platforms and with all the different ways you can watch the games, they still don't have metrics for that. So to me, it only goes so far. Yes, 2 small market teams going against each other. Yes, not a lot of mega stars in this playoffs, but you have the best team in the West. You have a hot team in the East playing against each other. Really, really good basketball being played too. The Pacers play excellent basketball, and it's a lot of fun to watch their pace and their speed and their shooting. It is a lot of fun to watch Oklahoma City with SGA doing his thing and the way they play. And that Thunder team is just, they won 68 games for a reason. So make sure you guys are watching this. Again, I still have Indiana winning tonight. I think they can pull this out. I think home cooking is going to hype them up a little bit. I still have Oklahoma City winning the whole thing because I think they are just too strong and too much. But tonight, the Pacers make it a series. And we'll talk about that a little bit on Saturday to see if I was right or if I was wrong. So, but SGA, he's fighting for that the MVP. So it's going to be something to keep an eye on because he wants that 30-point streak to kind of keep going. So let's see if he can keep it up tonight. So guys, watch that game tonight. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you're thinking. Drop me a line. So, but let's jump in here to some other NBA stuff here because, of course, we're getting close to the off season. So a lot of things going on. We have guys getting kind of the off-season surgeries because of, the NBA season's a long season, 82 games. You're going to have injuries. It's Darius Garland right now is going to be out 4 to 5 months with a toe surgery. Yes, toe surgery. But you know what, guys? Your toes are important when you're running up and down the basketball court. So that's a big loss. We'll see. He's probably going to miss some of the beginning of the season. I'm sure they're not going to rush him back because they want that to heal. But right now, Darius Garland's going to be out for the next 4 or 5 months. And that's a huge hit for Cleveland. They're a 60-plus win team. He is very important to that team. He is a big piece to that Cleveland Cavaliers team. So, Darius Garland, get better, man. You're a heck of a ball player, and I can't wait to see you out there next year. So, get well soon, man. Keep that big toe up, and don't put any weight on it. You gotta stay off of it. But the other fun stuff going on right now in the association, of course, the offseason, is the hot stove stuff. There is so many rumors flying around right now. There is so much internet fodder flying around right now. First things first, you have some big fish out there that guys, of course, want to try to catch. We're doing some fishing here. Kevin Durant is one of the biggest ones going on right now because, of course, he is not sticking around in Phoenix. They say they want to trade him before I can't even say it. The draft here, the 25th and 26th of June. So I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but it looks like there's some photos floating around of a Spurs jersey being taken pictures of in a locker, supposedly some leaked photos. Kevin Durant, but that is, of course, unofficial news. So it's interesting to see these kind of things floating around. You really wonder where it comes from, if it's on purpose, if the teams are doing it, if it's a smoke screen. With social media and the internet, we love this stuff. We eat it up. I get stuck in it sometimes too. I love seeing some of the memes and some of the stuff going on out there. The internet is definitely very entertaining, but guys, take it for what it is. It is not true reporting. It is just, entertainment. It is meant for entertainment purposes only. You can take it with a grain of salt. You can take it with a grain of salt. But Kevin Durant, being linked to a bunch of different teams, and everybody's clamoring for his services. Some of the top teams going for him right now, because again, a lot of teams trying to retool, trying to reload, and go out there and get themselves some big names. And right now, Kevin Durant, who, I think he's a great player. Look, he's a champion. He's a former MVP. The guy is a prolific scorer. To me, he's a mercenary. He's points for hire. He can get you 25 to 35 a game. His leadership skills and some of that stuff, I kind of question a little bit. Some of his decision making, I question. When he left Golden State and went to Brooklyn, and that was a flop. And then now, in Phoenix, another flop. So to me, he should have stayed in Golden State. He should have got healthy there. He should have ran with Steph and them boys again. He'd probably have another championship. Why you decide to do all these weird things? Look, I know you have your pride and you want to be the man and all this other stuff, but Kevin Durant, you should have stayed in Golden State instead of this failed experiment going to so many different teams. But let's see here. Top teams going for Kevin Durant. And I know the Knicks are one of the top teams. My New York Knicks, bounced by the Pacers, looking for another scorer to pair with Jalen Brunson. I'm not saying I wouldn't mind Kevin Durant, because if you put him on the team, I wouldn't mind him. I just don't want to give up Karl Anthony Towns and too much for him, because he's 36. I mean, you're renting him for essentially for the next maybe 2 years. I mean, legitimately, he's 36 years old. You got 2 more years left of a 25, 30-point Kevin Durant before he hits the wall. So giving up the farm for an aging superstar, it just does not sit well with me. So, but if you can get Kevin Durant on the cheap, put him on the team. I wouldn't mind seeing him for Bridges. I was a little disappointed in Bridges and his performance, not only throughout the year, but in the playoffs. and the Knicks are getting beat up for it. 5 first-round draft picks for him. It's like, and I see it, and it's throughout the year you kind of didn't want to talk about it because it almost made you throw up a little bit that they gave much for him. For some other big name superstars, sure. I mean, but you gave the Nets more for him than the Lakers gave for Luka Doncic, and that to me it wants to make my head explode. So that's why I can't think about it too much because it shows you the inept mindset of the front office of the New York Knicks and ownership, who James Dolan is one of the worst owners in the NBA, and he just continues to prove that with some of the moves that are made, the firing of Tibbs, which I was going to happen, and I think it needed to happen because I don't know, Tibbs. I think he gave him his 5 years, and that was it. And I think that's Tibbs as a coach. I think he's 5 years, and then after that, he's kind of he's hit his ceiling. So, but Kevin Durant on the New York Knicks, I think can work with Jalen Brunson. Just don't give up the farm for a 36-year-old aging superstar. But we'll see. And then, of course, the second team I'm thinking of here is the photo leak of the San Antonio Spurs. So right now floating around is the jersey of Kevin Durant and this from the San Antonio Spurs in a locker. Again, take it with a grain of salt. Is that real or not? Probably not. All this floating around that, the Spurs don't want to announce anything till closer to the draft. I don't know. I just, is it true? Possibly, but I mean, again, I hope the Spurs don't give up a lot because you got Victor Wembanyama. Yeah, I got De'Aaron Fox. That is going to be a heck of a team. You got the Rookie of the Year. So, to add Kevin Durant, hopefully they get him on the cheap. But if you put Kevin Durant on that San Antonio Spurs team, man, watch out in the West. If they all stay healthy, that is going to be a team to be reckoned with. Talk about inside, outside. Talk about a tall team. Oh, that'll be disgusting. So San Antonio, I know they're in the mix. They have some assets. They have some trade assets there, especially with the draft coming up. So it'll be interesting to see if that progresses into anything. And those photos where life imitates art come true. So we'll see. My third team thinking of here is the Miami Heat. Don't sleep on Pat Riley. Pat Riley moves in silence. He is the architect of a lot of championship teams. He makes some questionable moves, but then he does some things every once in a while that just go, wow. So don't sleep on Pat Riley and the Miami Heat. I'm sure that they're in the market for a Kevin Durant. I just don't think they would give up a younger Tyler Hero for him. And that's the thing, too. Again, these teams, I'm sure they would like Kevin Durant on their team, but I know a lot of them are not going to want to give up young assets for an aging superstar. That's going to cost them a lot of money. So, but Miami Heat are going to be in the mix. My other team that we got to pay attention to because they need to do something is going to be the Boston Celtics. I think the Boston Celtics right now in this offseason are going to be very active. Bounced in the playoffs. Jason Tatum, unfortunately, with the Achilles injury, going to be out all next year. So right now, the Boston Celtics, with a Porzingis that really doesn't do anything. Do you keep Brown? Because right now, they got a lot of money sitting in the Boston Celtics. They got a lot of money between Brown and Tatum and Porzingis. Look, they got the sixth man of the year, Peyton Pritchard. So they got to do something to bolster that team being without Jason Tatum. And a nice little bridge for the next year plus would be maybe a Kevin Durant, throw him on that team. So it'd be interesting to see. So just watch out for Boston. I think they're going to make some moves here. That front office likes to do and retool. They got to do something with Al Horford. I don't think he's coming back. So we'll see what they do for that. They need to get a little younger too, but unfortunately, there's not a lot of youth out there. There's a little bit, but as far as superstar, you got an easy 30-point guy. You throw Kevin Durant on that team to help with not having Jason Tatum. So watch out for the Boston Celtics. My fifth team for them is the Houston Rockets. What a fun team to watch, man. Houston had such a great season this year, second in the West. I think they kind of petered out in the playoffs. Ime Udoka had the team rolling, but then just kind of fell flat in the playoffs. It's a lot for a young team to go through an 82-game season, and especially navigating the West, and then just trying to get through the playoffs. And I think this was a great learning experience for that young Rockets team. I think Kevin Durant would fit perfectly on that team, because I think that's one of the pieces that they're missing. They had a couple of vets on that team with Brooks and with Van Vliet, but I think they needed just a little bit more. And if you kind of take those guys and take them out and put in a Kevin Durant with Green and some of the other guys that they got on there, watch out for the Rockets again, but don't give up too much of that young talent for a 36-year-old Kevin Durant. So be interesting to see if the Rockets get into play with this. Alfred Sengun, their all-star. So, you got to keep him around, because I think he's one of those guys you just don't get rid of, man. Look how young he is and how well he's just starting to develop. So fantastic there. And then my dark horse, actually got a couple of dark horses in the Kevin Durant sweepstakes. The LA Lakers, because they need to do something. They need to get somebody with Luka and LeBron, because LeBron, he may give you one more year, but of course he's on his way out. A 41-year-old LeBron James. He's thinking about his after basketball life, and he's been doing that for a couple of years now with his production company and all his other philanthropic adventures that he does. So they need to do something with the Lakers. I just don't think they have enough pieces or enough capital to really move the needle on Kevin Durant. But crazier things have happened. I mean, look, the Luka trade. How much crazier can you get? And then watch out for the Detroit Pistons. Phenomenal season this year. Knicks bounced them. That they were a tough out there in the East. Unbelievable to go from like worst in the league to making the playoffs this past year and having a great season. So I think if you throw Kevin Durant on there with a Cade Cunningham and some of the other guys they got on there, I think that would in the East being a little bit easier to navigate than the West. So maybe Kevin Durant goes, well, wait a minute, I'm tired of getting beat up in the West. Let me go to the East. It's a little bit easier. Let me go to an up and coming Detroit Pistons team who play really, really well. I already have a superstar on their team. I can fit myself right in there. So dark horse in the Kevin Durant sweepstakes. Watch out for the Detroit Pistons making some moves. So again, going to be an interesting offseason. And then the other big fruit out there, which is still an unofficial fruit, because to me, I think it's Giannis not wanting to overshadow the NBA finals. He is a very humble individual, which I love about him. He likes he's not a big limelight guy. He's not a big I guy. But Giannis Antetokounmpo, everybody's, a lot of the things floating around. He's not leaving, doesn't want to leave, hasn't requested a trade yet. But I can see him out of Milwaukee. I think it's time for him. He cannot hang around and do what his boy Dame Lillard did in Portland. I think that was Dame Lillard's biggest mistake, was he hung around 2-3 years too long in Portland. Look, there's one thing in sports. I know loyalty and love for the city, but sometimes you just got to be like, okay, guys, I've given you everything I got. I need something new. I need a fresh start. I need some new people around me. I got to get out of here. And Dame Lillard should have did that 3 years ago. I think Giannis does it this year because I think he knows after this past year, just being the struggle and the battle that it was. I don't know how much fun he had playing basketball this past year. And he's still top 5 talent. Guys, he is still top 5 in the world basketball talent. He's only 30 years old, so you still got 6 to 8 good years left of the Greek Freak. He is that much of a physical specimen. So I know it's unofficial, but again, a lot of teams throwing out there trying to get, okay, maybe we don't waste our capital on Kevin Durant. We now turn our sights to, hey, Milwaukee, why don't you pick up the phone and let's have some discussion. So again, New York Knicks, I would love to see Giannis Antetokounmpo in New York. That, Karl Anthony Towns, I'm sorry, you got to go. You poke him out, you put in Giannis, I'm good with that because Giannis Antetokounmpo is an amazing talent. Now, he doesn't have the three-point shot that Cat has, so if you go out and get Giannis, you need to get yourself some more three-point shooters, which I would love for them to go to Dallas and talk to Clay and try to get him from Dallas. So you put Clay, Giannis, with Jalen Brunson. Oh, that would be kind of, I would say dream squad right now, but that would send chills up my spine there if we can get something like that going on. But I'd love to have Giannis. He is, again, a top 5 talent in the world. He is just that good. And that would put, to me, I think that right there would put the Knicks over the top. Done. You get yourself a triple-double guy, a double-double machine, someone that brings it every game. You don't have to worry about him taking games off. He is that much of a talent. But Knicks possibly in the Giannis sweepstakes. Second team out there, of course, is the Miami Heat. Again, the Magic Man, Mr. Pat Riley, loves to bring the heat, and I think he would do some trading. Maybe you got to send Bam Adebayo and some of your other assets to get him. But, I think that's been talked about here is Giannis going to the Heat. I know my man, Michael Davis, the president of Boom Broadcasting, would love to see the Greek Freak in Miami. He's a huge Miami fan. It's just, to me, I don't know, does Miami have enough? Are they sexy enough for Giannis to go? Yes, I would like to go to the Miami Heat. So we'll see. A lot of questions there in Miami. Number 3, look, the Los Angeles Lakers, again, they need to do something to get Luka some help. And a 40-year-old LeBron is not it. Dalton Connect is not it. They need a heck of a lot more in LA if they're going to navigate the West. So Giannis in LA, Showtime. I don't see him as that kind of guy, but LA has made splashes before. They've been known to pull stuff out of their keister there and do some things. So we'll see what happens there. But that's going to be interesting to see if the Lakers can make some moves this offseason and get Luka some help. And again, I talked about him before, but number 4, Boston Celtics. You got to watch out for the Celtics. They got some assets there. They need to make some moves. They need to do something to shore up that squad because without Jason Tatum there. So do they send a Jaylen Brown to Milwaukee with some other assets and some picks and get Giannis? He just from one green to another. Doesn't have to worry about changing the wardrobe too much. The sneakers will still match the outfit. So, he got Bucks green compared to Celtics green. But watch out for the Boston Celtics again this offseason, making moves because they need to do something. Not having Jason Tatum next year is going to hurt. And even the year after that, because, man, coming back from that Achilles injury, unfortunately, nothing is guaranteed. So it'll be interesting to see what they do there. And then you got to throw the Spurs in there because, again, they've got assets to move. Giannis with Wemby and De'Aaron Fox. Oh, that would just be unfair. I mean, really. But watch out for them. You also got the Rockets. Again, they're in play. So there's a lot of teams out there that would love to have Giannis Antetokounmpo that have some assets to deal with. Oklahoma City, they have a ton of draft capital and some assets. Do they, win the chip and then go out there and just reload and have SGA and Giannis Antetokounmpo? Oof. What would that do? But dark horse and the Giannis sweepstakes, Minnesota. Minnesota, I think, showed this year that they could do something. The Stifle Tower was kind of creepy during the playoffs here. So I think Rudy Gobert needs to go. You send Julius Randle, Rudy Gobert, maybe some picks. You pick up Giannis. You have Giannis. You have Edwards. Watch out. Minnesota might be a dark horse in that Giannis sweepstakes. So, guys, the hot stove, it's getting hot out there in the NBA because, again, right now the NBA finals are going on. So people are kind of getting itchy. The NBA draft is coming up. So a lot of these teams are ready, just biting at the bit to retool and get ready for next year. Because, guys, man, it's June already. And we're going to get into August, September, October. This new season is just literally right around the corner, which is already crazy to think about. So lots going on. Anything breaks, I'll jump on and do a reel, or I'll jump on and bring it to you. Again, with the finals going on, I'm still going to give you 3 from deep 3 times a week. In the off season, I probably will go down to 1 show a week and then jump on when we have some big news, just to kind of keep you guys, just to let you know I'm still going to be there. I'm not going to disappear, and I got some other things in the works here too. So just know that NY not going anywhere on the Boom Broadcasting Network here. We're going to keep the content rolling. We're not just going to hibernate. So, but a lot of good stuff going on, guys. Please get out there and watch that finals game tonight, man. It is going to be an interesting game. Again, I still have Indiana winning tonight. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out, but it all is going to come down to, can Tyrese Haliburton be aggressive? Be aggressive. Be aggressive. I don't know. We'll see if they can do that. Or does SGA and his MVP barrage come in there and just shut down the Indianapolis 500? So we'll see. And we'll talk about that on Saturday. So again, I'm Jason Calenzo. This is 3 from Deep. I appreciate you guys for joining me. Like and subscribe. And I will see you on Saturday. Peace.